Alright guys, I am Death Knight from Death Knight Productions here today, and I'm going to be playing a game called Katawa Shoujo. It's a Japanese, I guess you could call it anime love story game, and we're going to get right into the story. I've already played around with it a little bit, didn't get that far, only on like the second day maybe. So I'm going to start a new game for you guys. Let's do this. I'm going to be commentating, and I will be doing voices for the people. I'm going to be drinking some Arnold Palmer. Let's get started. A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. A delicious tree provides a beautiful green canopy far out of the sight of teachers and fellow students. Gotta open this can. I'm horrible at open cans. So there we go. All Palmer bitches. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hands and then rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in this cold. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Ah yes, the note slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more a fan of the letter in the locker, but at least this way shows a bit of initiative. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently falling from the white painted sky, the only sign of time passing in this stagnant world. Their slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone's approaching from behind me. This is how rape begins. Hi, Hasao, you came? A hesitant, barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I know this is probably a good thing, I don't know. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never as more than an eavesdropper to a conversation. I'm a stalker, apparently. I'm playing as a stalker. I turn to face this voice, the voice of my dreams. My heart begins to race. How long have I been recording for? I have no fucking idea. When Nico. I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it. I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that was the result? Pathetic. Yes. I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. I do a really bad girl's voice, and that's pretty bad for me, since there's lots of girls in this game. Hook up with the hot babes. A shy, joyous smile that makes me tense. I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. The hell? My heart is pounding now, as if we're trying to burst out of my chest and claim the girl for itself. So, we're here. Here we are. I'm gonna, change the patterns of the thing if I think it fits better. Just saying. Out on the cold. My volume is loud as fuck. Anyways. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches. The cornucopia noise is music to my ears. Iwananaku flinches ever so softly against the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, and she lazily twirls her long, dark hair around her fingers. I want this guy's life. All the white, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. My throat is tight. I doubt I can even force out a word if I tried. You see, I wanted to know if you would go out with me. I stand there motionless, save for my pounding heart. I wanted to say something in reply. My vocal cords feel like they've been stressed beyond the breaking point. Isao? I reached up to massage my throat. This only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms. Isao? My whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot up open in terror. Isao! That was really bad. The beating in my chest suddenly stops, and I go weak at the knees. The world around me, the canopy of bare branches, dull winter sky, and Nako running towards me. All these fades to black. How many minutes is that? I can't fucking tell. Let's keep going. The last things I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Anako screaming for help and the inclenched clatter of the branches above. Enter cinematic. This is really good. You guys should drink this sometime. It's cold water. It comes in a bottle. It can't be more than 4 or 5 minutes I've been recording. My thing likes to glitch out around 10 minutes. So, got a curfew. Gotta keep it. How many? 10 times 60. It's around 6,000 seconds, right? So yeah, I'm good. I'll probably start capping out around 900 seconds. It's probably when I'll stop and save. I'm really good at doing guy voices though, can't you tell? I'm going to be doing very, very poor when it comes to girl voices, and you probably can't hear the audio. Oh. That's going on in the cinematic. It's just, the whole audio in this game is just bumps and the music. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. In that whole time, I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts. So I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. A strange word. Foreign, alien one. One that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently, I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It didn't really do anything to cheer me up. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I had already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. Of course, there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, I felt as if I was missing. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the get well gifts began to trickle down to nothing shortly after. I realized that the only reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had turned into a class project. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first months, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Iwanako was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. I never had that much talk about when she visited anyways. She didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. The hospital? It's not really the place I like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they're in a hurry and they have millions of other patients waiting for them, but that makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I'd ask the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. Never answered anything in a straightforward way, but he told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So I idly observed the scar that those surgeries had left on my chest, slowly changing its appearance over time. This makes me feel like I have a scar on my chest for some reason, even though I don't. Thinking of them as some kind of omen. I still ask the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough. Now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply, the way he shuffles around the answer shows me that there's at least some hope. At some point, I stopped watching TV. I don't know why. I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more of a storeroom for books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hand. But I loved the stories. It was what my life was like. The days became increasingly hard to distinguish from each other, differing only by the books I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like time blurred into some gooey mass I was trapped inside, instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing. Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was. Other times, all the things around that suddenly surround me would painfully crash into my consciousness through the barrier of nonchalance I set up for myself. Pages of my books would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as I was going to cry. That happened only rarely. I couldn't even cry. This is where I'm going to stop for today. Where is it? Save. Nope. Save. Create new save state. Continue. Hope you enjoyed.